Good morning, this is Jeff from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 24th of June. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at Charting the Markets or subset.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, yesterday morning I was posting this chart showing what I thought were the two obvious paths on ES and NQ, and we are still on the balance for them. Now, we do have today one of the more bearish days of the year. And this one leans basically over 75% bearish on Dow, on SPX, and over 80% bearish on NASDAQ. So we'll see how that goes and whether this can actually manages to break us down towards the next support level and to make the larger flag here rather than the smaller flag here. We will see how that goes. On NQ, we've actually got a 6-minute buy signal fix, which obviously is encouraging for bulls. RTY still actually pretty close to the all-time highs. YM still close to the all-time highs. Really, to the degree that we've been having a retracement here, it's really just on ES and NQ. DAX still kicking around, thinking about retesting the highs. ESTX very close to the highs. Nikkei coming slightly off the highs here, but basically everything's made new all-time highs really, apart from tech. And SPX, and tech is also dragging down SPX. That's what we're looking at here. Are we going to go a bit lower? I'm thinking we might. I was looking at a stat this morning. Bar chart posted something saying that the market was close to extreme fear. Really? I mean, really, we've barely come off the highs here. So I'm astonished by that. So that seems, with this basically, 3% off the highs, that just seems a little absurd. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Okay, looking at SPX, we are below the daily middle band and we are testing the 50 DMA, which is a significant support area. So I'm wondering about that. Do we have space to the downside? Yes. The 3SD lower band is at 7,200, so we could easily do another 130 points or so and stay above that. In terms of the hourly chart, no current divergence. That's not true quite. If we retest yesterday's low, then we would get a possible RSI 5 buy signal brewing on the hourly, but it's not an awful lot hanging out on. No divergence on the 15-minute chart, and here I've drawn in the possible larger flag, which I'm thinking does very much have a shot, but I wasn't seeing a lot of indication overnight as to whether it might play out. In terms of the Qs, we are still well above the daily lower band and the 50 DMA, but we are below the daily middle band, which broke fairly solidly yesterday with a gap below it and continuation down. In terms of the hourly chart, nothing. 15-minute chart, we are actually seeing a bit of positive divergence there. So as I said, the setup for a rally here is strongest on the Qs. Dire, does this look like the market's reaching a level of extreme fear to you? Because it really doesn't to me. In fact, we're nowhere near the daily middle band yet either. No divergence on the hourly chart. On the 15-minute chart, nothing either. All right, let's have a look at the 15-minute chart. Oh, sorry, the IWM chart. IWM, again, nowhere near the daily middle band. This retracement is a tech retracement more than anything else. Nothing on the hourly chart. Am I thinking we've got targets below? Yes, as I am on Dow, because we've got some support, nice-looking support trend lines below, and we've got a possible double top setup here. We shall see how that goes. DAX, I'm thinking that whatever's happening here, the obvious pattern setup here, and flags don't always break up, but the obvious setups here are we are forming bull flags. If we do get down to the 7,200 area on ES, I'll be looking at that as a buy opportunity. In terms of Nikkei, still pretty close to the highs. Wondering about this very nice looking rising megaphone and a possible move down to the megaphone support, which I've got currently at about the 64,100 area. We shall see. All right, let's have a look at DX. DX, we are seeing continuation higher. We've got a 6-minute sell signal fix. That's actually on the verge of failing as we continue up and we go through 101.5. Bigger picture, hang on, wait a second. Bigger picture, obviously, The target is the double bottom, which is broken up here with target in the 104.572 to 105.239 range. I'm not seeing any suggestion that we aren't going to make that target. I mean, we could. There are possible alternatives. This could still fail. We could be forming some kind of a bear flag from the low here, but currently it's looking pretty nice. Although it does look as though it's going to need some retracement soon. In terms of the other currency pairs, EURUSD, we are currently in the process of losing the 60-minute buy signal. Not close to losing it on GBP yet. USD JPY hasn't quite made it to my target up here at 162. Doesn't need to stop there, but I'd really like to see that reach, and we've got very, very close to that, but not quite hit it yet. USD CAD continuing higher. Australian dollar continuing lower. We're getting towards a head and shoulder target, which I've got in the 68.75 area. NZUSD has now reached the double top target in the 53.600 area. That's not something where I'm expecting necessarily to see any bounce or anything, but it was one of the big targets, and it has been reached. So that's been reached this morning. Australian dollar, I suspect, will follow soon. All right, let's have a look at the bonds chart. Bonds have been rallying a little bit. Okay, more since I last looked, and it looks like we're coming back in to retest this high. That could be the second high of a double top. I'm keeping an open mind on this. We've still got head and shoulders on TYX and TLT, which could deliver a move further up. We shall see. ZN is rallying back and has got over the monthly pivot again, wondering about a retest this high again. That could be the second high of a double top. Oil is continuing to trickle down. It's not because the oil market isn't still very fractured. But apparently hedge funds are very short at the moment. This pattern here only actually appeared when I rolled coil into September, but that's almost made the target, and we've now got the Brent price slightly under 75, which is wow. So in terms of the bigger picture, I don't have any buy signals here. I don't have anything on the hourly. I don't have anything on the daily chart. And actually, to get buy signals on the daily chart, we'd have to see a bit of a rally that lasted more than a day. And we've really been seeing those lately. So, and then a low retest. So I'm keeping an open mind. I'm slightly amazed it's got this low. But does this look like a buy opportunity here? I'm not seeing a setup here yet. And if we are going to go lower, then maybe one will form. We shall see. CL. CL is going lower as well, down to about 71. Where's the target on this head shoulders? 68 area. Well, having got down here, I suppose that's possible. So HO, no obvious reversal pattern here. Actually kind of looks like a bearish triangle. RBOB, no obvious pattern. NG, which isn't of course affected by the straight or anything, rallying a bit and testing the monthly pivot. GC, I was talking at the start of the week about my lean towards seeing retest these lows. Gold has now retested this low. Silver has now retested the low. We've got a 6-minute buy signal fixed, and it looks as though we might actually lose that today. Palladium hasn't retested the low yet. Platinum has retested the low. So we've currently got 3 pretty nice-looking double bottoms. We've got a 6-minute buy signal on Platinum, and we've got another one on SI, but I'm a bit concerned that we're going to lose the SI one today, unless this actually stops going down. HG has gone down as well. There's no particular reason this needs to retest the high. We've got a lovely topping set up here already. We shall see. All right, looking at KC. KC has retested the high here. We've got a potential double top set up here, which I'm keeping an eye on. Sugar has retested this low, or at least has it. Yep, it has. This is retested the low, and I'm wondering whether we're going to find some support here. CC, I think the head and shoulders has failed, and we are clearly going back up to retest this high. On lumber, lumber saw a bit of a pullback yesterday, and the 60-minute sell signal made target. CT, possible bottoming action, but not that clear. ZW, the same. On corn, again, the same, possible bottoming action, but not that clear what that's amounting to, and actually pretty much the same on soy. ZL actually broke down from a head and shoulders with a target in the 65.50 area. It hasn't reached that yet, and I'm still thinking it might well. Live cattle, this looks like well, it looks like a little level top here, but we're not breaking down from it. I think this might be a bullish consolidation before the obvious target, which should be a retest of this high here in the 251.5 area. And HO, we have a what looks like a bear flag forming before a retest of the low, which could then be forming second low of a double bottom. All right, let's have a quick look at questions. There are no questions. In that case, in terms of equities, I'm waiting to see how this develops today. We've not got far off the lows yesterday. We're at an inflection point. We have very bearish looking stats for today. I'm thinking we at least retest this low in all probability and set up a double bottom, but I'm thinking we may break down into the next level of support, which would provide a nice looking buy opportunity for a return to the highs. So we shall see. All right, in that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, cheers.